What you say, everybody. Welcome to Faces and Heels here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the recap and reaction of night one. Yes, night one of WWE's SummerSlam, which took place in New Jersey this year. And you heard me right, night one, because this is the first time in history that SummerSlam will span two nights, just like WrestleMania. We're following the same format here, and this is the 38th edition of SummerSlam, and it is taking place at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, the same place where the New York Jets and the New York Giants play football, just around the corner for all you NFL fans. And this particular PLE was hosted by rapper Cardi B, which was kind of confusing to say the least. But hey, you know, this new era of WWE with these celebrities, I just take it for what it is. But this is night one, and night one consisted of 6 matches. Tomorrow night, night two, will also consist of 6 matches as well. We had some, I say 6, but technically there were 7. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that coming up to the end. But we had some exciting matchups on this card. This was leading up to this show. I was not over the moon excited for this show. You know, I don't know what it was. It just didn't have that pop. It didn't have that build that kind of got me revved up for this edition of SummerSlam. You know, I didn't have that WrestleMania's little brother type feel for this show, because that's how I always looked at SummerSlam. SummerSlam was the midway point until we got to WrestleMania, you know, the party of the summer as they used to book it. But it just didn't have that feel this year to me. And I'm just speaking for me. It just didn't have that same oomph. But they had some interesting matches, still do, on the card, which is why I watched it. You know, I'm still a fan. I still want to watch this show. I had confidence that we were going to get a good show, and spoiler alert, we did. This was an excellent show. If night 2 is on par with night 1, this was a smashing success this year with WWE's SummerSlam. But on tonight's card, you had 6 matches, 7 or 6.5. I'll say that. But officially on the card, you had a tag team match with Roman Reigns and Jey Uso taking on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. You had a women's tag team match, or championship match, I should say, with Judgment Day, and that's Raquel and Roxanne, who are the champions, defending against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. You also had a singles match with Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn, a women's championship match with Tiffany Stratton defending her championship against Jade Cargill, a tag team match of celebrities, where you had Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul taking on Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. And in the main event of night 1, you had Gunther defending his World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk. And just to let you know, I was completely entertained by tonight. There wasn't a bad match on this card tonight. Just putting it out there before we even go over the matches. This was good. This was a really good card that WWE put in front of us. Starting off with the first match of the night, the tag team match between Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, with Paul Heyman in their corner, taking on the OTC Roman Reigns and main event Jey Uso. This was a decent match, a decent start. And I say decent because this was probably the one match, surprisingly, out of all of them, and once again, I enjoyed them all. I enjoyed this match. But if I had to rank them, this would probably be my second to last match of the night as far as entertaining wise. And there were some good spots here, great spots here, to be honest with you. But my problem wasn't the wrestling, it was the story. I didn't get a sense of a story moving forward in this match. I really didn't see the reason for this match to take place, other than a excuse to put Roman Reigns on the card. I didn't see a reason for this match to take place. Yeah, they had a decent build going into it. Yes, there's story there, with Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, that's still lingering from his betrayal at WrestleMania. Yeah, Braun Breaker put both Roman Reigns and Jey Uso through the barricade with a spear on Raw this past week. Awesome. It was a lot there. It just didn't come through in this particular match to me. It was fun. It was a fun match, entertaining match. Good to see Roman Reigns sacrificing himself at the end of this match, taking the spear from Braun Breaker to save Jey Uso, who came out victorious for their team when he pinned Braun Breaker for the win. But it was decent, really, really decent. A good palate cleanser for the rest of the night. I thought it was going to come out and blow my socks off, but it didn't. And I guess that's probably me. It's probably me who put a high expectation on this match that the match didn't live up to. But if I would have just went into it and watched it for what it was, I would have enjoyed it more. I fully acknowledge that. But I had a certain expectation for this match, and it didn't quite get there to me. But with that being said, I was thoroughly entertained when Roman Reigns and Jey Uso defeated Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. I give this match a C+. Yeah, it was good. It was a good match. It wasn't the worst match on this card, but I just expected it to be the first or even at least the second best match of night one, but it didn't get there. But that's not a real testament to this match. It's really a testament to the rest of the matches on this card that they were that good. Even one, when we get to it, I thought it was going to be the worst match, and it ended up being one of the best matches on this card, probably of the weekend. And I'm foreshadowing tomorrow night's night one wrap up of SummerSlam, but shocked me. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's get to our second match of the night, and it was for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, where Judgment Day puts those championships on the line against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. This had story. This had very, very entertaining story. Once again, I am so impressed with Charlotte Flair. If you listen to my review of WWE Unreal, that documentary series that was on Netflix, I expressed how much respect I had gained for Charlotte Flair by watching that show. Even though I always did have respect for her, I thought she's one of the best female wrestlers in the game, hands down. One of the most athletic, hands down. You can't deny that. I don't care how you feel or what your feelings are for or against Charlotte Flair. You can't deny that. My problem with Charlotte Flair, I always thought she was the Nepo baby, the one that always got what she wanted or demanded what she wanted. But the show really shined light on the fact that she really focuses on getting other people over. Charlotte Flair is not an undefeated champion. She's a 14-time champion, which means she done lost 14 times. She has put somebody over 14 times, and that's an accomplishment. That is something to be celebrated. And with this run that she's having with Alexa Bliss, where they're bouncing off of one another, two vets in the locker room, if you will, at this point in their careers, have history, were enemies in the past, now trying to be friends or cordial enough to have a tag team together, and it's been playing out well, and it made not Alexa, but this has made Charlotte Flair more relatable. She wasn't relatable before. That was another knock that I had on her as a character, not a person. You know, and this has kind of curved that. She's. It looks like she's really having fun. She's enjoying herself. She's building character and is really helping her not only outside the ring but in the ring as well. And this match was really good. This was a good match. Wasn't shocked by that by no means. All four women here are excellent in the ring. Even Raquel. Raquel has gotten so much better over time. And I've been a fan of her since NXT. But since she got to the main roster, she kind of fell back a little, performance-wise. And she still isn't quite there promo-wise either. But as of late, ever since Liv got hurt, and I'm praying that that's not the reason why she stepped it up, but she has stepped it up. That she's been carrying the torch, and she's been doing a really good job, on the mic and in the ring. She looks much better than she did in the past. And Roxanne Perez stepping in to take that role to be her partner in this tag team. Great. Once again, another one. Loved her in NXT. She made the transition very well to the main roster, joining Judgment Day and going on this run with Raquel. I think this has worked out perfectly. And this match, unlike the first match, in my opinion, told a story. This told a story, and the story was Charlotte and Alexa. That was the story. Can they get along? Can they put their differences aside and become tag team champions just for this match? Can they get on the same page? And that was the story going in, and they played it out so great throughout this match between those two, because Judgment Day, Raquel and Roxanne, they're on the same page. They're a cohesive unit. And so these two women who are former singles champions now have to come together to become tag team champions. There's still that tension there. Are they friends? Are they not friends? Is Charlotte going to turn? Is Alexa going to turn on her or whatever? To the point where Alexa accidentally knocked out Charlotte, hit Raquel, and Bliss had Roxanne and the sister Abigail. We see Charlotte gets back up, about to make a move, and now it's like, okay, is she gonna get her shot back on Alexa Bliss? Okay, what's about to happen? But she ended up taking out Raquel, allowing Bliss to execute the sister Abigail and get the 1, 2, 3 to make them the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. This was an awesome match, man. I was thoroughly entertained by this, and I didn't think I was going to be. I just thought it was going to be an average match, something to fill time on a card, another championship match. But oh no, this was awesome. This was a great match, and I give it a B plus. Yeah, it was really good. One of the better women's tag team matches in a while. We haven't gotten a lot of those in a while, but this one was good. We move on to our third match of the night, and it was a singles match between Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn. And in this match, if Karrion Kross won, Sami Zayn would have had to tell Kross that he was right. But if Sami won, it was the other way around. Kross would have had to admit that he was wrong. And so that was the stipulation. And this was, I guess, the blow off from months of Karrion Kross getting in Sami's ear to the point where Sami is tired of it. They had a match at, I think, the last PLE or was it Saturday night of Saturday's main event or something. I forgot where they actually wrestled last. That's how much I enjoyed it. It wasn't that enjoyable. I think it was no, it was at the King and Queen of the Ring. It was in Saudi Arabia. But and I wasn't expecting Karrion Kross to win. But this one, I was expecting Karrion Kross to win. Because Karrion Kross, I remember Karrion Kross from NXT. He was a beast. He was a monster. He was everything that you would want in a superstar. Got called up to the main roster. We all know the stories. Vince just torpedoed his run, his career. I don't even call it a run. He wasn't here long enough to have a run, and let him go, and that was that. And Triple H brought him back when he got the power to bring people back, and he hasn't done nothing. He's done nothing since he's been back, and he needed a win. He needed a win, but unfortunately, this match wasn't it. I'm just not, and I know this is blasphemy in the wrestling community, but once again, it's my opinion. I'm not saying that this dude's a bad wrestler. I'm just saying his matches does nothing for me, and that's Sami Zayn. I am not entertained by Sami Zayn. I like him as a character. Loved him in the Bloodline. He made the Bloodline. I love him on the microphone. And he's not a bad wrestler. He's actually an excellent wrestler. I'm just bored by his matches for some strange reason. I try to get into him, but I just can't. Aside from him and Kevin Owens, when they go at it, I'm there. It's just something about those two squaring off in the ring with one another. It's magic. You know, all wrestlers have that counterpart. They have a soulmate in the ring. Sami Zayn's is Kevin Owens, but I'm just not there with Sami Zayn. I think it's the music. You know, I was saying it tonight. I was when he came out. I'm like, that music is not the music of a champion. You know, that's not somebody that I look at as a threat. It's just upbeat. I'm like, what is this? I don't want this. I don't want to jump around and party. I want somebody who's going to come out and kick somebody's butt. And I'm not hyped up by it, you know? I don't know, man. But I like Sami Zayn. In no way I want y'all to take this where I hate Sami Zayn. I don't like him. I don't like how he wrestle and all that. No, everything about him I like. It's just I'm bored by it. And it's the strangest thing. And I'm trying to figure it out. But for that reason, this was, in my opinion, the worst match of the night. And it wasn't a bad match. It actually was a good match. It just did not get there for me. You know, and I wanted Karrion Kross to win. He needed to go over here. But I think he's on his way out of WWE. If you believe all the tea leaves and whatnot, I think his contract is coming up, if not already. So I don't know what the status is on that. Don't know if that played a part in tonight's outcome. But in any event, Sami Zayn defeats Karrion Kross in this singles match. It gets a C. Yeah, it was average. It was an average. It was a Raw match. This was a Monday night match to me. It wasn't a SummerSlam match. And that's very disappointing. And so we get to the WWE Women's Championship match between Tiffany Stratton defending her title against Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill won Queen of the Ring to become the number one contender for this match, for this title. I'm going to just tell you straight up, thought this was going to be the botchiest of botches match of all time. And it had some botches, but it wasn't as botchy as I thought. And the reason being, because you have two green performers in the ring. Let's not forget, Tiffany Stratton, she's the champion. She's been the champion, I think, this entire 2025. Since January, she's been the champion. But she's still green. She just got here, and she isn't quite there. As much as I like her, and as athletic as she is, as deserving. I think she do deserve to be a champion. She really is putting in the work. I give her that. She go out there and after every match she looks bloody. She was bloody tonight. You know, I think her arm was bloody, but every match she gets banged up, bruised up, whatever. But she keeps on ticking. She's like the Energizer Bunny. But she's green, and my God, you know, Jade Cargill is the greenest of greens. She just can't get there. Now, her last match that she had with Naomi was probably her best match she ever had, ever. That's AEW, WWE combined. That was her best match. And you probably can credit Naomi for that. But every other match has been so bad, man. And this match here, you still had it. I mean, you had some really awful botches, but the match within itself was all right. And the reason it was all right, it was quick. This was the shortest match of the night. I don't think it went 7 minutes. This was a short match, and it desperately needed. This match did not need to go over 10 minutes because it would have destroyed both of these females. It would have destroyed both of these young ladies' careers if it would have went over 10 minutes. But they kept it tight. No wasted movements. They didn't waste much time, and they went in, did what they had to do, and get out. I appreciated it for that. Was it a good match? Not really. It was all right. Once again, just like I described the Sami Zayn Karrion Kross match as a Monday Night Raw match, this WWE Women's Championship match was a Friday Night SmackDown SmackDown match. It wasn't anything special, other than the fact that Tiffany won, and I was shocked by that. It was the right choice. I mean, 100% right choice. But I didn't think WWE was going to do it. I thought they were scrapping a rocket to Jade Cargill's back. But, you know, credit to them. They made the right choice here. Tiffany Stratton retains her WWE Women's Championship by defeating Jade Cargill. This match gets a C. Moving on to our fifth match of the night. It was a tag team match. It was a lot of tag team matches on this card. But this was the final tag team match of the night where we had Randy Orton and Jelly Roll taking on Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. You remember when I said that there was a match I thought was going to be the worst match of the weekend, let alone of the night? This was the one. I was not, in no sense of anybody's imagination, hyped up for this match. I don't know what it is. I just was not. And I love Randy Orton, love Drew McIntyre. And as much as I can't stand Logan Paul as a person, the dude is phenomenal in the ring. Jelly Roll, he didn't take anything away from the match as far as my anticipation, but I could care less. Number one, I didn't know who Jelly Roll is. Still don't. I don't I don't know who Jelly Roll is. They called him a rapper on the show, but when they played his music, it sounded country to me. I'm like, well, which is it? What is he? But whatever. I mean, nothing against him. I just don't know who he is. You know, his music hasn't ran across my eardrums. Maybe I got to look it up. I'm gonna play a couple of his songs before I go to bed tonight, so I can know who in the world is Jelly Roll. But that's neither here nor there. I thought this was going to be my, okay, let me go grab something to eat, use the bathroom, and reposition myself for the main event match. This wasn't something that I was anticipating paying attention to for 17 minutes. But I did. Shocked me. This was awesome. This was an awesome match. It's close to being the best match of the night. And I mean close. It is shocking that this match was this good. I mean, it was phenomenal. The only takeaway I have from this match is I'm guessing Randy Orton is probably hurt.
in real life, because he wasn't in the match long. I think Randy Orton executed 3 moves, and this entire time they put everything on Jelly Roll, which blew my mind. I thought it was going to be the other way around. The way the match was structured, I thought that Randy Orton was going to take the blunt of the punishment before we got the hot tag to Jelly Roll, and he goes on this little Hulk Hogan Hulk up run and take out both of them and whatnot for about 2 minutes, and that's that. No, no, Jelly Roll. If this match was 17 minutes, Jelly Roll wrestled for, and I'm giving him 15. It could have been more, but I'm giving him 15 minutes of the 17. Jelly Roll was in the ring. All respect to him, and he looked good. Yeah, he looked a little nervous and stiff at points, but what did you expect? What do you expect? He's neither one of the other 3 participants in this match, and so I give him a curve there. But this dude was he was taking claymores, he was taking bumps out of this world, all type of moves. It was just crazy. They were beating him half to death. And my God, that spot when he was on the announce table and Logan Paul did his patent jumping off of the turnbuckle onto the table, thought Jelly Roll was going to move out the way. No, sir, he did not. Jelly Roll ate that splash. That table exploded. I thought he was legit hurt. I really did. The way Logan Paul landed on him, I was like, man, he's hurt. Because I'm hurt watching him. That was sick. That was sick, man. And he ate it. Man, standing ovation. Standing ovation for Jelly Roll. And then he's getting helped out of the ring. And wouldn't you know, he comes back in the ring and executes more. He executed a choke slam. He did a tilt the world slam and all that. I was like, man, go ahead on Jelly Roll. I was shocked. I was shocked on how good he was in the ring. No, I'm not saying he's the next WWE champion. I'm just saying he looked good. It was shocking. Very shocking. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough because Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul gets the victory over Randy Orton and Jelly Roll in this match. And once again, right call. Because you don't want Drew McIntyre losing to Jelly Roll. I don't care if he eats the pin or not. You don't want his team to lose. You need Drew McIntyre to stay strong. Logan Paul, and for the most part, you need him to stay strong because he's the most hated performer you have. He generates the most heat. You want to keep that going. So it was the right call. But the match itself was excellent. I really enjoyed it. And it gets an A. This was an A match. If you had that on your bingo card tonight, congratulations. I didn't. I was shocked on how much I enjoyed this match. It was the match of the night. Hands down. I guess that's a spoiler because we got one more match left. But this was phenomenal, man. I was sports entertained to death here. This was pure sports entertainment. Now, you want to get into the pro wrestling of it all. That's for our main event. For the World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther defends that championship against the best in the world, CM Punk. This was a 30-minute match, and it was all pro wrestling. This was not sports entertainment. Now, they did get sports entertaining in the end, with the Gunther spot on the table, busting itself open. Yeah, that was sports entertainment. But as far as the rest of the match, it was pure pro wrestling. This match, I was excited because of CM Punk and Gunther. I'm a big fan of both of these gentlemen. But I wanted to see CM Punk win the title. I really did. And I wasn't excited for it because the build wasn't there. I think CM Punk won a gauntlet match just 2 weeks ago to to challenge for this. So you didn't have much time to build to this big main event match, and I think WWE kind of dropped the ball there on that, but regardless of that, it was still something to look forward to. I was looking forward to it, and for the most part, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything about it. I enjoyed the fact that Gunther got all of his stuff in. He beat CM Punk half to death. He was chopping him so hard. I don't know if y'all noticed, but CM Punk was bleeding from his chest. By the end of the match, he was chopping him to death. He was power bombing him, frog splashing him, and choking him. The sleeper holes and all this. He was doing everything, but CM Punk kept going. CM Punk did not stop. CM Punk was getting in his spots. The problem I have with the match would be CM Punk. He's getting older, and it's starting to show more and more every match. And they got him going 30 minutes in his matches, and he shouldn't have to. You're putting too much on him, and in his mind, he's probably doing this, because everybody feels they still got it. They can still go, and he's trying his best out there. And it's not like he's performing badly. He's just like a beat slower, And granted, the man's in his 40s. I'm in my 40s. I know it's going to kill me to get out of this chair after I finish recording this episode. And so I know that him in that ring with a monstrosity such as Gunther, it's going to take his toll on you. So he's going to move a little slower, and he's not as fast. But he's been like that in his last few matches. Actually, since he's been back at WWE, with the exception of maybe one or two matches that he actually looked like the old CM Punk. But tonight, the match was slowed down a lot. It wasn't real fast-paced. And, you're not going to get that in a Gunther match anyway. It's going to be a technically sound match from the get-go. But if you enjoy pro wrestling, this was a pro wrestling match, and I did enjoy it. It was nothing about this that was bad. It was just a little slow. I felt they could have shaved off 10 minutes from this match, and it could have been a banger. It just took periods in between spots where nothing was happening, and that was weird to me. But I know it was to regroup. It was kind of to catch your breath and whatnot. But those are moments where I'm like, okay, we need to speed it up because I'm losing momentum here. My adrenaline is starting to go down, and it affected my viewing of the match. But from everything I saw in this match, I was excited, and especially at the end, when we finally got the GTS from CM Punk to Gunther. Gunther sold it like $1 million. Took it. He was out on his feet. CM Punk picked him up again, hit him with a second GTS. 1, 2, 3. CM Punk is your new World Heavyweight Champion. And I'm not going to lie. Tear ran down my cheek. A single tear ran down my cheek. I'm a huge CM Punk fan. I've been watching him for decades. And I've been wanting this for him since he came back. And so I was super, super happy. And I could look at his face, see the emotion on his face. And wouldn't you know, all of a sudden, and I knew it. It's the crazy part. This the crazy part. I wasn't surprised when all of a sudden you heard "Burn It Down." I knew it was coming. I'm like, man, this is the moment. This was the biggest swerve in history. I was literally saying that 5 seconds later, burn it down. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what? and I just told myself this was going to happen, and I still got mad. I was like, oh my God. And here comes Seth Rollins with Paul Heyman. Seth Rollins on the crutches. He got the knee brace, and he's been selling this like nobody's business. If since the Saturday Night Main Event took place when he quote unquote injured his knee, and I was sitting there like, okay, so he's gonna play this game about a knee. Now all you have reporters saying that it's a swerve, that he's not really hurt, and all this here. And in the back of my mind, all I'm hearing myself repeat to myself while Seth Rollins is standing there on the crutches. Not CM Punk, but Seth Rollins promised CM Punk, as long as there's air in my lungs, you will never be a champion here. And that's what was playing in my head. And so, okay, it made sense for Seth Rollins to come out, even though he's hurt. He's threatening Punk, and all this here. So he turns around and starts to leave. I'm like, okay, he just wanted to send a message. Okay, I get it. And this was the most cinematic moment in WWE history to me. when Seth Rollins stopped and dropped the crutches, turned around, took off the knee brace, threw it off, ripped off his jacket, grabbed the briefcase from Paul Heyman, and darted down the alley. I was like, I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they did this. They're about to cash in on Punk. And who else would it be? It all made, it was like no pun intended, and my prayers go out to Hawaii and Alaska and all those places affected by tsunamis and stuff. But it was like a tsunami of information pouring into my head at the same time. It all made sense. It was the perfect setup for this. The perfect setup that it would be Punk that Seth Rollins cashed in on. Because he's not going to do it on Cena. He's not going to do it on Cody if he wins tomorrow night. And he wasn't going to do it on Gunther. So it all made sense. And I'm like, man, I feel like an idiot. Why I didn't read into this? Why didn't I read into this? And so Seth enters the ring, starts beating Punk down with the briefcase, and gives the briefcase to the ref. Ref officially starts the match. We have our 7th match of the night, the impromptu match for the World Heavyweight Championship between Seth Rollins and CM Punk, the new champion for the last 10 seconds. The bell rings. Rollins hit the stomp. 1, 2, 3. Rollins is your new World Heavyweight Champion. I'm like, but this was money. Cinema. Mwah. Beautiful. Beautifully done. I cannot congratulate this team, whether it's Triple H, the writers, Seth, Punk, Gunther, Paul Heyman, everybody involved in this played this perfectly. This was perfect. This was how you cash in. And with Seth Rollins, with this cash in, you had to do something that would equal what you did at WrestleMania. About a decade ago, maybe even longer. I forgot which WrestleMania it was when he cashed in on Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. The heist of the century, as they called it. Yes, you needed something to be that dramatic, that awesome. And I'm not saying this is up there with that, or should I say equal to that, but it's up there with that. It is. This was a great cash in, one of the better cash ins of the Money in the Bank contract, and God knows how long when it comes to that particular stipulation. But yes, that was the end of night 1 of WWE SummerSlam live from New Jersey. This was an awesome night one. But this was an awesome night one. Match of the night was the tag team match between Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul against Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. That was the match of the night. And if you would have asked me this last night around this same time, is no way that would have came up in my. That would have been the last match to come up in my mind for the best match of the night. I probably would have said Sammy versus Karrion Kross before I said this match, but it was the match of the night. Will it become the match of the weekend? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see how night 2 turns out. And night two has some. You think tonight had an awesome card? Night 2 has an awesome card. Those 6 matches, and that should stick at 6 because nobody else have Money in the Bank contracts. But you have the Women's World Championship, that triple threat match with Naomi, Rhea, and Io. You have the Women's Intercontinental Championship match with Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria. And I think there's no holds barred, no disqualifications or something. You have the steel cage match for the United States Championship, Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. The WWE Intercontinental Championship match between Dominic Mysterio and AJ Styles. A 6-pack tables, ladders, and chairs match for the tag team championships. You have the Wyatt Six, Andrade, and Rey Fenix teaming up. You have DIY in that match. Fraxium is in that match. The Street Profits and Motor City Machine Guns. That is shaping up to be a banger. And in the main event of night 2 and of the entire weekend, we have a street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship with newly minted quotation babyface John Cena putting his championship against the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. I have theories about that, and should I? Yeah, I'm gonna put it out there in case I'm right. And I can tell y'all tomorrow I told you so. But I'm also opening the door for, like, Kevin, you're an idiot for guessing that. But I think Cena is still a heel because you can't have 2 baby faces going into this match in a street fight. That makes no sense. And so there were implications made by John Cena in that promo the other night where he mentioned Travis Scott indirectly, and he mentioned The Rock indirectly. Will The Rock show up? Now, I know nobody wants to see The Rock no more after what happened at WrestleMania. Nobody wants to see him no more. But if you want redemption for the final boss, this will be it. This is a street fight. That means everything's on the table. Anything could happen. We'll see. But yes, night 2 is a full with championship. Every match is a championship match, so it should be exciting. Can't wait till tomorrow night. What did you think of night 1 of SummerSlam, and which one was your favorite match of the night? Let me know by email. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also let me know on social media. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network. Smash that like button as well. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to Faces and Heels here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this recap and reaction to WWE SummerSlam Night 1. I will holler at y'all tomorrow night as we do the same for Night 2. Until then, y'all be good, y'all be safe, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace.